New Jersey's role in the migrant crisis is at the center of a debate after an old state proposal recently resurfaced for a potential site to house and process undocumented migrants who come here. Hunterdon County Commissioner Board Director Jeff Cole last week told county leaders the Murphy administration is considering using the old Hagedorn State Psychiatric Hospital as a processing facility. That caused an uproar among Republicans and many local leaders in the area who argued resources are already stretched thin for the towns around the hospital, with some promoting stances that progressives consider anti-immigration and isolationist. The Murphy administration says there's no such plan or proposal in place, but as senior political correspondent David Cruz reports, that isn't stopping the political fallout.
Ask most anyone running for anything nowadays from either party, and they'll tell you the federal government and Congress are most to blame for the influx of migrants at the border and those getting put on buses that have recently been stopping in New Jersey. But Republicans here are taking the opportunity to, depending on who you ask, take political advantage of the situation or raise the alarm about it impacting the state.
This is a failed border policy of this Biden administration. And also our Governor Murphy, has declared us to be a sanctuary state. So our doors are open for people to come here.
Assembly Republican leader John DeMaio echoing the Republican line today, reacting, he says, to concerns from Hunterdon County officials to the idea of using the former Hagedorn State Psychiatric Hospital as a potential processing facility for undocumented migrants. Did someone from the state say that this was a pending action? How did this all come about?
It was on a call with county officials, and
With the state and the
their
county.
interpretation was this is something that could happen. Now,
Gotcha.
before it could happen, we want answers.
The state says no such action is pending and that it was over a year ago that the decommissioned hospital in rural Hunterdon was previously identified as a potential state site should the need arise to shelter a mass group of individuals, not limited to migrants, but also including weather-related events or large-scale emergencies. Immigrants' rights advocates say the state has a responsibility to provide basic services for migrants who show up here, acknowledging the need for a federal solution, but also cautioning against demonizing those most vulnerable.
But I think it's really important to note that this is an election year, a presidential election year. And just like years before, where at that time the talking point in the specter was migrant caravans, right? And before that, it was chain migration. And before that, it was anchor babies, right? There's always this scary term that people come up with during election cycles to basically pit communities against each other.
Residents near the facility, and near is a relative term since it's located in a wooded area away from homes or mass transit or emergency services or even a supermarket. They seemed not as alarmed as some of their Republican representatives.
Ignoring it's not going to make it go away, and we need to work together to fix our immigration policy. And maybe if we all had a little skin in the game, we would all work a lot faster to make it better.
It's been standing empty and it's not being utilized, and it's an amazing facility, and that it would be better to be used than just be standing empty. So if they could utilize it to accommodate immigrants, I'm all for that.
It's not as if New Jersey didn't have its share of unauthorized residents here already, and the debate over their impact has already been intense. And with the prospect of more busloads of migrants heading to states like ours, even if they're just passing through, that debate will only intensify in an election year, whether the impact is real or imagined. I'm David Cruz, NJ Spotlight News.